This is every Northrop Grumman ever made. Fighters, bombers, reconnaissance platforms, trainers, cargo haulers, stealth aircraft, even unmanned systems. Over 30 machines, some legendary, some revolutionary, some that redefined air combat forever.
The Grumman FF was Grumman's first complete fighter design for the U.S. Navy. A twin-seat biplane with an enclosed cockpit and retractable landing gear, it was revolutionary for 1931. The manually cranked gear became a Grumman signature, built to survive brutal carrier landings. It wasn't the fastest or most nimble, but it proved Leroy Grumman understood what the Navy needed: rugged, reliable, and innovative. The FF established the foundation for everything that followed. The F2F and F3F refined Grumman's biplane formula. Single-seat fighters with improved performance and tighter handling, they served through the late 1930s. The F3F was particularly loved by pilots for its agility and responsiveness. These aircraft represented the peak of biplane carrier fighter development. They weren't glamorous, but they kept the lineage alive. By 1939, biplanes were obsolete, but Grumman had learned lessons that would shape the monoplane era.
The F4F Wildcat was Grumman's first monoplane fighter and the right aircraft at the right time. Tough, heavily armed, and able to absorb devastating damage, it held the line after Pearl Harbor. Japanese Zeros were faster and more maneuverable, but the Wildcat could dive, roll, and survive hits that would destroy other fighters. At Coral Sea, Midway, and Guadalcanal, it bought time. The Wildcat proved that engineering ruggedness and pilot skill could overcome technical disadvantages. The F6F Hellcat was built to kill Zeros, and it succeeded brutally. Faster, more powerful, and better armed than the Wildcat, it dominated Pacific skies from 1943 onward. Naval aviators claimed over 5,000 kills flying Hellcats, nearly 75% of all Navy aerial victories in the war. It combined speed, firepower, durability, and ease of production. Pilots trusted it completely. The Hellcat didn't just win battles, it won the air war. The TBF Avenger was a massive three-seat torpedo bomber that became the most effective carrier strike aircraft of World War II. It could carry torpedoes, bombs, or rockets, and its rugged construction brought crews home through intense anti-aircraft fire. The Avenger sank more Japanese shipping than any other aircraft type. George H.W. Bush flew one, was shot down, and survived. The Avenger symbolized Grumman's ability to build aircraft that protected their crews while completing impossible missions.
The F-7F Tigercat was Grumman's twin-engine fighter experiment. Fast, heavily armed with 4 20mm cannons and 4 machine guns, it was one of the most powerful piston fighters ever built. But its weight and high landing speed made carrier operations nearly impossible. The Marines used it from land bases as a night fighter and ground attack aircraft. The Tigercat arrived too late for major World War II action, but it proved twin-engine fighters could work if missions didn't require carrier landings. The F-8F Bearcat was designed for one purpose: climb fast, turn tight, kill enemy fighters. Lighter and more powerful than the Hellcat, it could reach altitude faster than almost anything flying. The war ended before it saw major combat, but the Bearcat became legendary in post-war racing and foreign service. It represented Grumman's philosophy distilled to pure performance: small, aggressive, and brutally effective. The Bearcat was the ultimate piston-engine carrier fighter that never got its war.
The F-9F Panther was Grumman's first jet fighter and the U.S. Navy's primary jet during the Korean War. Straight-winged and subsonic, it couldn't match MiG-15s in speed or altitude, but it was stable, reliable, and deadly in ground attack missions. Panthers flew more than 78,000 combat sorties in Korea. They proved jets could operate from carriers under combat conditions. The Panther wasn't revolutionary, but it was exactly what the Navy needed during the transition to jet warfare. The F-9F Cougar took the Panther's reliable design and added swept wings for transonic performance. Faster and more modern-looking, it served as a fleet fighter and advanced trainer throughout the 1950s. The Cougar never saw major combat, but it trained generations of Navy pilots in jet operations. It represented incremental evolution rather than revolution. The Cougar proved Grumman could adapt existing designs quickly and effectively, keeping the Navy equipped while developing next-generation aircraft. The F-14 Tomcat was a masterpiece. Variable sweep wings, long-range Phoenix missiles, powerful radar, and twin engines made it the ultimate fleet defender. It could engage 6 targets simultaneously from over 100 miles away. In close combat, it was surprisingly agile. The Tomcat served from 1974 to 2006, protecting carrier battle groups and projecting American power globally. Top Gun made it famous. Combat over Libya and Iraq proved its lethality. The Tomcat remains Grumman's most iconic fighter. The E-2 Hawkeye is the eyes of the fleet, a twin turboprop airborne early warning aircraft with a massive rotating radar dome. It detects threats hundreds of miles away and coordinates air operations. First flown in 1960, it remains in production today, the longest production run of any carrier aircraft. The Hawkeye doesn't fight directly. It ensures nothing surprises the battle group. Modern E-2D variants can track stealth aircraft and cruise missiles. The Hawkeye proves information dominance wins wars. The C-2 Greyhound is the workhorse cargo aircraft that keeps carriers operational. Based on the Hawkeye's airframe, it carries supplies, mail, passengers, and critical parts from shore to ship. Its twin turboprops and high wing design allow it to land on carrier decks with heavy loads. Unglamorous but essential, the Greyhound solves the logistics problem that limits carrier strike group operations. Without the C-2, carriers couldn't sustain combat operations far from friendly ports. The A-6 Intruder was an all-weather attack aircraft built to strike targets in conditions that grounded everything else. Subsonic and ungainly, it carried massive bomb loads with precision radar and navigation systems. In Vietnam, Intruders flew through storms and darkness to hit targets other aircraft couldn't reach. During Desert Storm, they delivered laser-guided bombs with devastating accuracy. The Intruder wasn't fast or pretty, but it was unstoppable. Crews called it the Iron Tadpole with affection and respect. The EA-6B Prowler was an electronic warfare variant of the Intruder designed to jam enemy radars and communications. 4 crew members operated sophisticated systems that could blind air defenses across entire regions. The Prowler escorted strike packages, suppressed surface-to-air missiles, and controlled the electromagnetic spectrum. It served from 1971 to 2015, outlasting its A-6 cousin by decades. The Prowler proved electronic warfare was as important as bombs and missiles in modern combat. The S-2 Tracker was the Navy's primary carrier-based anti-submarine aircraft for decades. Twin-engined and packed with sonar, radar, and torpedoes, it hunted Soviet submarines during the Cold War. The Tracker combined detection and attack capabilities in one airframe, eliminating the need for separate hunter and killer aircraft. It served from 1954 to the 1970s with the U.S. Navy and continued in foreign service much longer. The Tracker quietly protected carrier groups from underwater threats few people ever saw. The P-61 Black Widow was America's first purpose-built night fighter. Twin-engined, twin-boomed, and jet black, it carried radar, heavy cannons, and a crew of 3. In the Pacific and Europe, it hunted enemy bombers in total darkness. The Black Widow was massive for a fighter, but its radar-guided kills proved night combat required specialized aircraft. It established Northrop's reputation for unconventional designs that solved problems others ignored. The Black Widow dominated darkness when most fighters were blind. The XB-35 was Jack Northrop's obsession, a pure flying wing bomber with no fuselage, no tail, just wing. 4 massive contra-rotating propellers drove it across intercontinental ranges. The concept was aerodynamically brilliant but mechanically troubled. Propeller vibrations plagued the design, and production was canceled before operational service. Despite failure, the XB-35 proved flying wings could fly. Decades later, its data became foundational for the B-2 Spirit. Northrop's vision was simply too early.
The YB-49 took the XB-35 airframe and replaced propellers with 8 jet engines. It flew faster and higher, setting endurance records above 40,000 feet, but range decreased dramatically, and stability problems remained unsolved. A fatal crash killed test pilot Captain Glenn Edwards, for whom Edwards Air Force Base was named. Political maneuvering and technical limitations killed the program. The YB-49 lost to the conventional B-36 bomber, yet its flying wing legacy survived for another generation. The F-89 Scorpion was an all-weather interceptor built to defend North America from Soviet bombers. Twin-engined and radar-equipped, it carried rockets and later nuclear-tipped air-to-air missiles. The Scorpion was large, heavy, and designed for one mission: intercept and destroy intruders at long range. It served Air Defense Command throughout the 1950s. The Scorpion wasn't elegant, but it provided strategic defense during the tensest Cold War years. Northrop received this contract as compensation for the canceled YB-49. The T-38 Talon revolutionized pilot training. The world's first supersonic trainer, it was small, lightweight, and affordable. Twin engines provided safety and performance, and its handling prepared pilots for Century Series fighters. First flown in 1959, the T-38 remains in Air Force service today, training generations of American pilots. NASA used it for astronaut proficiency training. The Talon proved advanced trainers created better combat pilots. Simple, reliable, and enduring, it became one of aviation's greatest successes.
The F-5 Freedom Fighter was designed as an affordable, exportable, lightweight fighter. Small, simple, and powered by twin engines, it costs less to buy and operate than contemporary fighters. The improved F-5E Tiger II added more power and better avionics while maintaining low costs. Over 2,600 were built for dozens of countries worldwide. The F-5 saw combat across Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. It proved tactical capability didn't require cutting-edge complexity. The F-5 democratized air power. The F-20 Tigershark was an advanced evolution of the F-5, designed for the export market with a single powerful engine and modern avionics. Faster, more capable, and easier to maintain than the F-16, it should have succeeded, but U.S. policy shifted to allow F-16 exports, destroying the F-20's market overnight. 3 prototypes were built. 2 crashed during airshow demonstrations, killing test pilots. The program died in 1986. The Tigershark became aviation's greatest what-if story.
The YF-17 was Northrop's lightweight fighter competitor against the YF-16. Twin-engined and designed for agility, it lost the Air Force competition but found new life. The Navy needed a carrier-capable fighter, and McDonnell Douglas partnered with Northrop to develop the YF-17 into the FA-18 Hornet. Northrop received work share but lost design control. The YF-17 itself never entered production, but its DNA lives in thousands of Hornets and Super Hornets flying today. The YF-23 was Northrop's stealth fighter proposal, competing against Lockheed's YF-22. Faster, stealthier, and more unconventional than its rival, it featured diamond-shaped wings and buried engines. Test pilots praised its performance, but the Air Force chose the more conventional YF-22, which became the F-22 Raptor. 2 YF-23 prototypes were built and never flew again. The Black Widow II represented Northrop's bold design philosophy, but bold doesn't always win contracts.
The B-2 Spirit is the most expensive aircraft ever built and worth every dollar. A pure flying wing with radar-absorbent materials and no vertical surfaces, it penetrates the most defended airspace undetected. Each of the 21 B-2s built cost approximately $2 billion. It can carry nuclear or conventional weapons across intercontinental ranges without refueling. The B-2 proved Jack Northrop's flying wing vision 4 decades after the YB-49 failed. Stealth technology transformed strategic bombing. The Spirit remains untouchable. The E-8 Joint Stars is a flying battlefield management platform based on a modified Boeing 707 airframe. Its massive side-looking radar tracks ground vehicles across hundreds of miles, directing air and artillery strikes in real time. During Desert Storm, it revolutionized ground warfare by making enemy movements visible from the sky. Joint Stars coordinates close air support, interdiction, and reconnaissance simultaneously. It doesn't carry weapons. It ensures every weapon hits exactly where needed. The RQ-4 Global Hawk is a high-altitude, long-endurance, unmanned reconnaissance aircraft. With a wingspan larger than a Boeing 737, it flies above 60,000 feet for over 30 hours, surveilling vast areas with advanced sensors. Global Hawk eliminated the need for manned strategic reconnaissance aircraft like the U-2 for many missions. It operates autonomously, transmitting real-time intelligence to commanders worldwide. The Global Hawk represents the future, unmanned platforms performing missions too dangerous or tedious for pilots. The X-47B was an experimental unmanned combat air vehicle designed to operate from aircraft carriers autonomously. It demonstrated carrier launches, recoveries, and aerial refueling without pilot intervention. The tailless design showcased stealth capabilities combined with carrier suitability. While the X-47B itself didn't enter production, it proved unmanned combat aircraft could handle complex carrier operations. The technology directly influenced the MQ-25 Stingray refueling drone. The X-47B opened the door to autonomous carrier aviation. The B-21 Raider is America's next-generation stealth bomber, designed to replace aging B-1 and B-2 fleets. Smaller and more maintainable than the B-2, it incorporates decades of stealth advancements and open architecture for rapid upgrades. Details remain classified, but the B-21 will penetrate advanced air defenses well into the 2050s. Production has begun with at least 100 aircraft planned. The Raider ensures American strategic dominance continues. Northrop Grumman's flying wing legacy evolves into the future.
The G-21 Goose was Grumman's first commercial aircraft, a twin-engine amphibious transport. Built for wealthy businessmen needing island access, it became a military utility workhorse during World War II. The Goose served as a transport, search and rescue, and coastal patrol aircraft. Its rugged construction and water landing capability made it invaluable in the Pacific theater.
After the war, surplus Gooses found civilian roles worldwide. The Goose proved Grumman engineering worked beyond military contracts. The HU-116 Albatross was a large amphibious aircraft designed for search and rescue missions. Twin-engine and capable of landing in rough seas, it saved hundreds of downed pilots during the Korean and Vietnam Wars. The Albatross could operate from land bases, water, or unprepared surfaces, providing global rescue capability. Its high wing and boat hull allowed operations in conditions that grounded other aircraft. The Albatross served military and civilian operators for decades, proving amphibians remained relevant in the jet age.
The Gulfstream 1 was Grumman's entry into business aviation, a twin turboprop executive transport. Comfortable, reliable, and capable of transcontinental range, it established the Gulfstream brand. The jet-powered Gulfstream 2 followed, offering higher speed and altitude for corporate customers. Grumman eventually sold the Gulfstream line, which became one of aviation's most prestigious business jet families. The Gulfstreams demonstrated Grumman could compete in civilian markets, though military contracts remained the company's core business. The MQ-4C Triton is a maritime surveillance variant of the Global Hawk designed for Navy missions. It patrols vast ocean areas, tracking ships, submarines, and maritime threats with advanced sensors. Triton operates at high altitude for over 24 hours, providing persistent surveillance that manned aircraft cannot sustain. Its reinforced airframe handles harsh maritime environments and rapid altitude changes. The Triton represents the future of naval reconnaissance, unmanned, long endurance, and globally deployable. Maritime patrol entered the unmanned era.